Hello, folks. Hello, loyal audience. This particular video has got to do is a rant about some economical and financial situations. Uh, I want to first bring up the story of the $2 billion given by MBS to Kushner, Jared Kushner, the the son-in-law of Trump, right? Now, this is not the only thing that happened. There was like basically like a train back and forth between Washington and the Gulf countries, mainly Saudi. And that was, like to get some money, some cash. Like, for example, that's Jared. That's what we know about. But there's more, of course. There is Manuchin, who was the Treasury, the Treasury thief of the United States of America. He was the Treasury thief under Trump, right? Manuchin or Mnuchin, who was actually a part, or he was something in Sears. Sears is the department store, which ran into trouble. There's a pattern there. Department stores for now, what, 20, 30 years, failing in succession and being replaced by something new. And that's not the original owners, folks. These are unseen, behind the scene, behind the curtains, new owners. Not that they had money. The money was given to them by some kind of a Obama, some kind of a Clinton too, right? I don't know about Clinton, but at least he resided over the colossal .com catastrophe, financial catastrophe, .com. Well, I don't know. I mean, does he know that it was going to happen this way? I don't know. I mean, I don't think the guy is an economist anyway. So, and Bush and Trump and Biden, and, oh man. But now let's go back to the Gulf countries. The Gulf countries, especially Saudis. So Manuchin was partner, as I was speaking about the stores, those department stores or chain stores, or the stores in like chain of large stores. Earliest I recall was Montgomery Ward, and then Carson's, and then large food stores like Dominic's, like Cup Foods, like, and then there's Sears, and then there's Kmart. Oh man, I can go on and on. There's some mystery about their failures, right? Their failures, about how to, like their failures, something similar to a legend, feeble, something similar to like a riddle, right? How do they fail? So back to Sears. Sears is closing, I think its last stores. And there's like other stores as well. JCPenney was about to close down, and I think they closed so much. And oh man, so many stores are closing. So this Manuchin was apparently, I read this in a very well-known news outlet a while back, was on the board of directors of Sears. He and a partner, I think the partner was the CEO, his name is Lampert, right? And it was well known. They siphoned off number of billions, B, not an M, B, billions. I don't know how many, but they siphoned off billions, send it to the stock market rabbis, and now the store is fluttering and stumbling, and eventually it's beginning to collapse, right? So the board of directors sued these two guys. Well, so much for the money. These guys are what's called protected. It turns out that the stock market rabbis have much more than the stock markets in their pockets, right? Uh-oh, there's something here. Okay. Anyways, it turns out they have the White House, and for a long time now. Turns out they have the Pelosi's and the McConnells and the Supreme Court, and you try to go and say that those guys stole billions from Sears. Guess what's going to happen? Oh, oh, you're going to be accused of being anti-Semitic. So that's that. But now Mnuchin made number of trips to Saudis, and he actually extracted a few billions also. Now I read, aside from the 2 billions that were given, at least this is like a very known, the declared money transfer between the Saudis to other entities. After the 2 billions, some 6 billions were given to a couple of firms, or 3 firms or something like that. I don't recall the names of the firms, but these were 6 billions payout from Saudi to whoever it is, right? Here in the United States. Maybe I should look that up someday. But I don't care. I hope you believe that, and that's the truth. Honest to God truth. And then apparently Mnuchin, I don't know, but I heard, I think it's a correct number, that he siphoned off some 8 billion from Saudis. Now let's analyze the Saudis. It could be, now I can tell you this, it could be an extortion, blackmail, shakedown, and so on and so on. A possibility. Actually, I see this to be the more likely scenario, is that what happened there is nothing but shakedowns, blackmail, like stick them up, motherfuckers. Obama, when he went into the White House the first day, he immediately drew his weapon, his peace Glock, and pointed out, what's his name? Geithner. Oh, with a TH, okay. Hey, where's that little monkey, man? And Geithner was hiding behind the table, right? The conference table. And then everybody stick their hand up, right? Stick them up, everybody stick their hands up. He says, where's that little monkey, Geithner? And Geithner answers, squeals from under the table. What do you want? Hey, don't shoot, please, don't shoot. And Obama goes, where's that cash box in the treasury, motherfucker? He says, oh. And then the wiser guy in the room was Biden. And he says, no, there's no cash boxes here. Here it's all digital. The Fed generates trillions of illegitimate, illegal money, and then you just issue orders, and that's the whole thing, man. Of course, Obama, puts back his piece and sits down, and they bring him something called PDB. PDB is Presidential Daily Brief. That's well known, something like 10 pages, headlines of what's going on in the world. And he threw it away. He says, give me a stack of those, really ream of papers of those executive orders for trillions for the stock market rabbis, those brothers, his brothers, the Obama's brothers, are waiting, motherfuckers. I don't give a shit about PDP and anything else. Now, Biden, finally, everybody puts their hand down. And Biden say, well, slow down, man. It's not like that here. He says, shut up, you chimpanzee-looking motherfucker. Don't give me that chimpanzee smile. And that, what's his name? Geithner, the monkey. Fun aside, folks. Believe me, the entire world, if you want to liken it in an analogy to a ship, right? It's falling apart. And these guys are stealing even the planks. Those in Washington now, and here and there, everywhere, they're everywhere now. Folks, they're so blinded, they're eating like a freaking blind cow. You know how a blind cow eats and doesn't know when to stop because the blind cow doesn't see, right? And they even die. They're like so bloated of stolen. If you look at what's happening is like Russia in Ukraine, and the looting started. These guys have been in the White House and in the government for a while, and they're looting the country. Now, looting was not this is not the first place. It happened, some American soldiers looted in Iraq, but now widespread. And there was some looting in Canada, and it's mixed white, black and whites, and there was looting in Chicago. But when Saddam Hussein fell, supposedly, fell, those Shiites, they went out looting for 3 days. They looted the entire country, and the regime in Syria and its minions, those fucking insects, right? They started looting the whole country. Oh man, it's sad. Not poverty was so widespread, and fear, and I mean in Syria, and then these guys come, and after everybody either is dead or made a refugee, or they just loot whatever is little was saved, which it took so much for these families to save for whatever is very little, like a fridge or whatever it is, and these guys come and loot. Here's something for you that ticks you off, but it is true. Those which make up the foundation of Zion or Israel, that they are trying to establish their rule over the shoulders of, or their backs thereof, and foreign legs, are of the sort. They're looters, nothing else really, whether they're politicians in the Kremlin or in the White House, all the way down to the soldier that is looting. I have seen them and I have looked at them, and I can sum it up in a very simple case. These Zion Netanyahus, they can only thrive and survive and have any significance at all riding on the back of those typical creatures, which they probably have something to do with dementing and messing up their psyche and emptying them from humanity, but that's all they can survive on. You take a strong people, ethical people, civilized, refined, and so on, and brave, and then these guys are not the instrument of Israelis or Zion to become successful over. Basic and simple, right? That's why they always promote such psyche. Back again. So the possibility, which is highly likely, is that the Saudis have been shaken down. And they're infiltrated a long time ago. I know that. But that's a possibility only. Shakedown, blackmail, threat, and especially the Saudi family, it's not like they have the enough weapons to, defend themselves or fight back or do a counter-offensive. I mean, they're on their own, basic and simple. So there's a highly likely possibility. The other possibility is that really MBS is their relative. And that's the way I see it now. It is becoming more obvious to what it is. But nonetheless, so you Americans know, who are listening or watching this, it's not just the $2 billion of Jared Kushner. There was also another 6 given to whoever, blah, 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 blah. I forgot the names. Very few, actually. They called it investment in certain firm or companies or something like that. And there is the Manuchin siphoned off money as well. So these guys were going in a hurry, right? Like looting. It was like, how looters are always in a hurry running. How there are footage, there are videos of them in downtown Chicago when they start looting. They don't just walk in and walk out, like stick them up, motherfucker. I bet you money if that fuck, if you gave that fuck not hundreds of millions or tens of millions, I'm talking about Obama, he would have been no more than a looter in Chicago. I dare say about him, motherfucker, what he did in Syria. He ordered the use of poison gas. Now you may say, oh, it was a red line he failed to enforce. Oh, no, you don't understand how he says it. Rabbi Obama was saying the failure of the regime is a red line and use gas. That's what he was saying. He, partner of poor Stalini, partner of the regime in Syria. And you know what? Millions got killed in gas and bunker busters and so on and so forth. And he may give that frog laugh, smile, or a snake smile, or something like that about that having been a little bit successful or at least temporarily. That's not something my kind would pride them ourselves upon, nor we will do. I being a Sunni Muslim, an Arab, right? So that's that, Obama. Uh, and anyone with any conscience, aside from that Talmudic, goyim shit and stuff like that, would not sleep at night seeing, things like that happen. Because when we see other humans, we see other humans, right? No matter who they are. But you do, I know. Just go to sleep and bothered. Now, for those who gave you your cut, like tens of millions, probably, whether it's the billionaires in Illinois here, or the nut fix by way of whoever it is, it came all trickled down. They were having it ready, and they gave it all kind of titles and names and bogus deals and so on and so forth. I'm talking to them now. You didn't have to give him that much. Believe me, this guy for $10,000 will have done far worse. Even if you give him like a little bit more than that, he would do that to his own family. That motherfucker. What is despicable about him is that someone like this is appointed as the president of a nation, right? President of the United States. Can you imagine the power of Israel bringing a thief like that, petty thief and shit like that, put him as president in the White House? Folks, Americans, there's no longer any free election in this country, or freedom, or whatever. Just forget it. That's gone. Wash your hands off it. It's being twigged. When Israel decapitated John F. Kennedy and his brother, that was it. I'm not saying nothing happened before. Oh, no, but it was sparse and so on. But from then on, that's it, folks. America has lost its... it is executive branch, and then later it's legislative branch, or thereabout, and then eventually it's judicial branch, like justice. So America, you're no longer a free country, but you're still free. You as individuals, you're still free. Value liberty, and stand up for what's right. Don't go talk to them about being treacherous and so on and so forth. They will gloat about giving you gods. They will say, no. Remember Mel Gibson? Yeah, you say everything that they have is stolen, but they gave you gods, right? That's Mel Gibson, Rabbi Mel Gibson speaking. And he's right. They gave you Jesus, and later on they gave you Batman, and they gave you the French Revolution. They gave you Martin Luther, they gave you Lenin, they gave you Obama, they gave you all these gods, plus the other gods, right? The one above supposedly and one below. So it is true. So if you acquired those gods from them, right? You got those gods from them, and they became your gods, and they're your religions, then you owe them everything else. You worship them. When you worship Jesus, you worship one of them, right? That's what it is. But back to our point. That's what it is, folks. There's no economy. A few years back, long time ago, it hit me, and I wrote that on. I used to write on Yahoo, but not anymore. And I advocated, like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, never thought of before, that all these student debts and loans and debt that they incurred for their schooling, and should be pardoned, should be written off. But no. And I read back then, 10 years ago, that it totals over $1 trillion. And even I got some objections on replies on my postings that, oh no, it shouldn't, blah, 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 blah. Folks, there's the problem. How much do students owe? 1.5 trillion, 2 trillions? I don't know. Whatever they owe is nothing considering what these guys are stealing on a daily basis by executive orders, by appropriation bills, by raising debt limits, by Fed printing digitized and legal trillions, illegitimate stolen trillions, and all forwarded to the stock market, all forwarded to Russia, all forwarded to Iran, all forwarded. Believe it or not, the last one I'm going to say all forwarded to is China, and you better believe it that United States Fed and government and so on is printing digitized illegal trillions and sending them and giving them to China as credit, believe it or not. Why? Because China has basically stopped if there's inflation in the United States. Guess what? Now, let's go back this inflation thing, right? Yesterday I went to do my laundry and the price is up. Not by much really, but it was up. And everything's up. A gallon of milk, which used to be what, $2 is now $4 or $6. Gallon of gas is $6. Whatever you buy now is like way up in prices. Really? Why is that now? Well, it turns out that they need support. For example, they're manipulating oil. And who are they? Well, I'm talking about the Netanyahus, right? The stock market rabbis. And, you know, the White House and whatever. It turns out that the oil is being manipulated so that Putin can incur money, you know, that can rake in cash so he can support his war in Ukraine and Syria and here and there, and then maintain a country, right? Because Russia with its oil and so on, you know, what else does Russia export really? Nothing. Gas and oil. Gas used to be $2 what every cubic whatever meter, I don't know. Whatever that unit was, now it's $9. Guess what? Guess who's making this money? That is intentional, folks. If and now the Arab Gulf countries up their production, whether it's gas, whether it's oil, or whatever their products are, that industry, Russia will collapse, right? So when you're paying money, when you're paying so much dollars on the gas pump, when you're paying so much money in the grocery store, and much more than you ever did, it is not because of inflation, folks. Oh, no. It is because they need money to support so and so and maintain the integrity of the country. You know, like pay whatever social security, blah, blah. They need to steal money. That's it. Now, here's the important point of this video. What's happening? Oh, they bring you all kind of prophecy from the Bible, rapture and evil entities and so on, causing all this, wreaking havoc on the nations and the economies and so on. No, folks, no, don't believe all that bullshit. The spin zone that they're putting you at, they're fixing you in a spin zone. The spin zone's disk is as big as a galaxy. And it's spinning at the speed of light, right? And they're so intense, they're so good at it, they're so evil at it that it's hard to figure that out. One of the things that you should look at, you Americans, or whoever you are, is what are these superstitions that they're blaming it on? Whether devil is, Jesus is back, and his risen, resist, blah blah blah. The reason the world's finances are in such a dire state, or basically destroyed, is because for decades now, those stock market rabbis and their posse and their mafia in the White House and in the Congress and here and there have been stealing trillions on a daily basis to afford their addiction to trillions and billions. I said this before. Millions are frowned upon. You know, to be millionaire is not good. You start with what, $10? You know, you throw it out in the stock market, or you get like from back end like stimulus cash or whatever it is because you're special somebody, right? You know, special breed. Special breed means like you dumb shit, don't think much, but know how to parasite on other people. So the fact of the matter is, that's why there are financial problems in this world now. That's why there's inflation, and that's why there is. There's an apocalypse, financial apocalypse going on, and have been for a while. That's why there are pandemics. There are pandemics, right? So they can put you home, right, for 2.5 years. That's why there is vaccines. That's all kind of things, folks, and all due to those creatures stealing trillions on a daily basis. Trump himself, in one of his rallies in 2016. I saw that myself. I was watching TV when he said it, and I put something on Twitter, and I got erased, I think. He said, and I quote, that people, trillions at stake. I think it was Virginia or West Virginia somewhere. That's in 2016. And sure enough, the guy started stealing right there. And then, not that Obama didn't do as bad, but I think Trump outdone him. I remember one day he was like in Europe in G7 or somewhere, and he comes out and he makes a statement. There is another 300 billions, he says, another 300 billions. For what? Oh, well, they passed something while he was there, and he passed 300 billions to the stock market. Now you may say, well, these are stock owned by Americans. Not anymore, folks. These stocks are owned by certain people, and the money is channeled in the back end to other people as well. They're in Russia, they're in Iran, they're Hezbollah, they're ISIS, they're Qaeda, their regime in Syria, their Putin, Pustalini, you name it, folks. That's what's going on. So now you tend to see what's going on. The whole world is getting destroyed financially, right? And then the stock market is going up, and you ask yourself that question, they'll immediately spin on you like prophecies and superstitions. Hell, when I came to this country in 1981, I was interested in certain religious, the religious trends here in this country. One of which I noticed was prophecy. They're big on prophecy from the Bible. I remember reading this guy, what's his name? Lindsay something, right? And he wrote a book called The Late Great Planet Earth. He was like prophesying like holy war was nuclear, and the book even has like earth burning, right? Like the cover of the book is earth burning. And I was like, whoa, I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it says earth is gonna be hit with nuclear war, a nuclear holocaust, and so on and so forth. Well, maybe that's what they're planning. I don't know. I mean, but it seems to me like you guys, you typical ordinary citizen like myself, Americans, well, from wherever you come, you are buying all this bullshit and being blinded to the fact that financial apocalypse has been taking place for a few decades, more than a couple of decades, for a few decades now. And things are not getting better, folks. And that's why the world is destroyed, is because those stock market rabbis are stealing trillions. So if I am to liken the United States to a cow, right? Don't be offended, hold on. The cow now is under attack by hyenas, right? And the cow now is skin and bones, literally speaking. No longer can't stand on its own legs. And the frenzy of blood sucking and eating flesh and so on while the cow is alive is ever intensifying. You think I was joking about Obama, stick him up and stuff. This guy siphoned off trillions and stole. He didn't give a shit about the United States and its infrastructure and its people, and that he's the president of that country. And he gave it all to the investors in New York and so on and so forth. They told you he was a Muslim? Oh man, you dumb shits. A Muslim making it to the White House as a president? Think about it, right? Trump did worse than that. Now Biden continues the legacy of trillions, the trill is gone. The trill is gone, and it's trillion, right? And so on and so forth. You may find this like a rugged way of speech and talking economics, but believe me, you can go read like an entire encyclopedia about what's going on and analysis and margins and shit like that. Oh man, you can read all you want. These are the facts, folks. In 29 minutes, I laid out the entire scene or landscape of what's going on for you right here and now. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. What's going on when a president is appointed in the White House? He's got only one or few functions. The policy and running of the United States, that's Israel, right? And Russia for that matter, and Iran for that matter, and China for that matter. He only signs executive orders, and mainly to do with trillions or sending the army to kill Muslims and support regimes like that of Assad or Iran and Russia and blah, 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 blah. You may say, oh, Obama was not friend of Russia. Oh, you guys, those of you who think like that, don't know shit. Here comes a sip of tea. So people, don't believe all that bullshit that you hear. Apocalypse and prophecy and Bible and not Bible, the other thing, like your Batman thing and so on. Don't believe all that, folks. What's happening is very simple. Similar to the shepherd, hurting his flock. He doesn't have to tell them the truth about where they're going and what's going to happen to them. He just hurts them, Sometimes he plays them music. Sometimes he sent his dog, to around the sheep, and then eventually he'll slaughter them and eat them, and that's all they're doing. And he takes their milk and so on. They give you all kind of weird stuff about superstition and end of days and. But remember this: all that is bullshit. What's happening is that while they're keeping you busy, like magicians, they focus your attention on one hand while the other hand is fixing the trick, right? Folks, the stock market, unless it is supported every day by trillions, whether it's fake money or I don't care about the numbers, fake money, digitized money, maybe the computer is just bumping up numbers, maybe. It will crash in less than a week. It will probably crash in one day, unless they are doing that to it. It's taken 2 stolen trillions, or maybe 5 stolen trillions to keep 1 stolen trillion that was stolen in the past. Now, instead of losing it, they're stealing more to keep that 1 stolen trillion. That's all I can tell you, folks. That is all I can tell you. So that's all the economy that's going on now. That's it, folks. That is it. Now, when you read on the news that the Fed is going to raise interest rate, or will keep raising interest rate, that's a signal, folks. Meaningly, they just printed money. It's called fiscal policy or whatever it is, and they just forwarded that to the stock market. That's all they're good for. You have no idea. The stock market now, or the markets in general, and the stock market rabbis are like a black hole, the black hole in the universe that sucks everything that has value, including light. If it has anything in it, dollars, whatever, if it's $1, the black hole is gonna suck it. That's it. That's all they're doing now, folks. That's it. That's it. All these businesses, new department store that you see, expensive ones, blah, 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 right, are erected and established on the graveyard of the original department stores and so on, right? By who? By new owners. And those new owners weren't rich, really. They just got money from Obama and they did so and so, right? Their Lampert and their Mnuchin inside destroyed Sears, and now the stolen money that they stole, whether by way of Obama and Trump and Biden and whoever it is, right? And from Sears as well, they will build new stuff. That is, and the original owners who built Sears are gone, right? Or who owns it are gone, and now there's the new thing. Like they sent everything in the past to the graveyard, and now they're building by stealing. They're building something on top of it. That's all. The world cannot continue this way, folks. Now, and to tell you the truth, they don't care. If it crashes today and people get killed in the hundreds of millions and so on, those rabbis don't care. No, they don't care a shit, right? And they may simply mean that Han Lindsay, what's his name? Han Lindsay, late great planet Earth, the nuclear holocaust. Maybe they're planning that. I don't know. They're thinking that they're going to survive. Have a nice day, my friends. And I hope you decipher what I just said. What I just said is very important, and that is what's going on. Nothing more, nothing less. Period. Uh, you can go read all, like I said, you can go read all the literature from the experts, from the stock market experts, from whoever it is, economists. Yeah, no, all that's bullshit, folks. What's happening is just what I just told you. Have a nice day, my friend. Oh, two things. This cryptocurrency thing, oh man, you have no idea how evil that thing is. You have no idea. And don't forget, Rabbi Roosevelt gave control of the dollar to a private bank. That private bank put trillions in debt on the United States and gave it to the stock market.